I pushed 50 opponents off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. We scratch pumping our sense, harmony flows to the best of lands. In the neon glow, where is best, the culture rich, where resents in the morn of grace. We'll dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and
Well, I just
soaring
got myself
heights,
an AS
find your
valve already.
magic near the moonlit nights.
Oh, alrighty, guys. Today's going to be so much of a different kind of stream today. Um, anyway, we've got a lot of details, in relation to what is going on, with Valve today. We've also are going to be talking about the UK situation, a little bit. It's not going to be something, um, for, and it's in for what I'm going to talk about for this reason. And we've also got not only the UK, but we also got, the other thing with the reflecting pool, DC reflecting pool. But the big one, probably a lot of people, probably this could probably be a little bit of a shorter stream, maybe. I don't know. Could have possibly been, but today I really wanted to show you guys that reviews have gone out for the Steam machine. Personally, if I were you, um, is I wanted to look up something. Okay, so it's got two USB A's. It's got a micro SD. I'm just kind of seeing, um, in relation to, this, a display port, one DisplayPort, one HDMI. You got Ethernet, one USB-C in the back, two USB-A in the back. I don't know why we don't have a USB-C up in the front. but why this USB-C has to be in the back? Why couldn't it be up in the front and we put the it's whatever. Um, but Valve is kind of one of those things where um, you get one USB-C Gen 2 port in the back. Um, you get a USB A 3.2 Gen 1 in the front, two of those. So that's not terrible. The graphics, on the other hand, though, the semi-custom, like I was watching it, it's not the most powerful system in regards to this. Um, and the reason why I'm going to tell you that is this system, okay, for roughly a 2 terabyte system for this, we could probably build a DIY system that might be better, but we might only be able to get a terabyte instead of 2 terabytes. And with a controller, we will probably get up to 1,500 with 1 terabyte. So if you really are thinking about just getting this as like a secondary PC or something that you can utilize for what it's worth, probably. I would probably say wait and not spend on this, um, and maybe see if things change because, you know, they say 4K gaming 60 FSR. It's actually 1080p gaming. It's actually 1080p gaming, to be honest, not 4K. Anybody who says that it is, I'll tell you that it is 1080p, not 4K, and it's not like you want to use FSR. Personally, I would not buy the Steam machine. I'd personally go and build a computer and build it to run Bazite, to be honest. But anyway, I'm not going to show you guys a comparable thing. I'm just telling you that we have that available. Um, Sorry, there was one other thing I wanted to check. I'm also going to tell you guys, I am currently also downloading pro mods. I am going to shift my European setup. We're going to go with just pro mods. Um, Pro mods. It looks like that they are trying to process Vulkan shaders down here, but but I'm just gonna put it down there. I'm not gonna go like too super bright on it. I think it's just fine. But I will tell you that when you go and you look at the differences between um looking at the technology that we have, um, that one of the things um that I wanted to share with you that really is important for you guys to really understand is that the more that you look at these video game processes, uh, video game technology, I will tell you, like, if you are running and you are running um older hardware, now of course, if you are running a this computer or running a thing and you want to get 4K, I am going to tell you, like, what I would recommend is that if you are doing anything remotely, um, I would recommend that you go AMD, but you go with a my setup. It's AM4, but it will probably run better than running that crappy thing. If you look at finding, um, you know, if you're looking at building a computer, I would highly think about looking into YouTubers before buying that Steam machine. If you are wanting to buy it because you have the funds and you have the money, you don't care, and you just want to have it just to have it, then okay. But spending that $1,000 on for 512 GB um, is not going to be well worth the proposition. I would highly go with the 2 TB one, no matter what. I will tell you always. I'll tell you I'll always go and pick the Steam machine. I'd always pick the higher storage, the higher amount of storage. Why? Because the higher amount of storage that is needed for a computer, if you're playing games like Call of Duty, and you're going to get the Steam machine and you're going to use it for Windows, I'd highly recommend you don't. Because Windows is not a great thing. If you're going to be buying a computer, um, I would not recommend it. If you're going to be um, for Windows. But if you're going to use it for a Linux-based operating system like Bazite, you might be able to get it to run on that system, no matter for it. And I'd probably will tell you you should not be using a 16 gig stick. I know it's DDR5 and it might be 16 gig stick right now because there's support, but I'm pretty sure that if we can get 32 gig sticks, if enough people buy it, I'm pretty sure you could probably upgrade this if you happen to have two um if you guys go out and buy a system like this, um it's not worth spending thousands of dollars on a system that $1,000 on this. If you already have a system, you already have a computer, and your computer is pretty much basically there, don't need it. You don't need this. But if you're doing it for like a computer setup for like a home or something on a computer, or you're gonna use it for like um gonna use it for like watching content like Paramount and things like that, and you are, trying to build a computer for that setup, you might as well just do it because it's just going to be a lot better. Now, I wouldn't recommend setting it on the floor. I wouldn't recommend setting any computer on any floor of a carpet or anything like that. I would recommend that you set it up on top for it. Now, I'm pretty sure the Steam machine probably would have been a comparable price probably would have been $800-900 for the basic model. For the basic model, the 512, and then probably the 2 terabyte one would have been the price of what it is with the Steam controller, and then add the Steam controller to it. So I'm pretty sure it's not that bad. It's not that inexpensive. I can't believe it cost that, but I'm pretty sure that that's what they were trying to aim for, was a lower end tier of consumers to make it so that it's easier for people to game. But I still think $1,400 and some odd dollars is not worth for something like this, when there is $1,500 that is so much better. Um, to be honest, like, I'm pretty sure if you go to Framework, I'm pretty sure you might be able to get that through the Framework, and might be able to get more out of a Framework laptop for that same price. Um, to begin with. So I would highly look into looking for the Steam machine, the Steam Deck, looking into something like that. Um, and look around, shop around. Don't just go out and buy like you're waiting for the Steam machine to come out. Like you were gonna buy this, like go and look at Jawa.gg and see if there's anything good used. Um, yeah, the one I came over here was for this airmail for it. Um, uh, there we go. That'll allow for me to skip. It just, I can't back up very well, but I will tell you this. I'm gonna take a quick, thing, and I'll be right back. Hey, Glass, yeah, I know my face cam ain't on. Are you serious? Yes, I know it wasn't on. I turned it off for a good reason. Because I had to go somewhere. Somewhere it wasn't on last night because I had, um, for a couple other reasons. But anyway. Oh, yeah. Well, I know my camera wasn't on, Glass. I went. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I know my cam wasn't on, Glass. To be honest, I had turned it off um, to actually showcase a thing for Steam earlier, and then I basically um, had to go somewhere, so I went to take the camera off. So, but I will tell you this: there is a couple of things that you guys need to understand. Um, with the thing, I'm gonna tell you, like if you have a PS5 or you have something like this, um, don't just go out and buy the Steam machine, please. Just don't. Like if you have a PS5, if you have a computer, all gaming computer already, and your gaming computer now, of course, if your gaming computer's been like a 1080 computer, then maybe. Okay, Glass. I probably won't be on until 9, most likely, for zombies because I have to clean my I have to do dishes and stuff, and that's when I do dishes. I do dishes about 8:30. 8:30. So, and probably Thursday. I think it's like Wednesday or Thursday this week that I probably won't be live in the afternoon and in the evening. Um, this week, and then next week, guys. Next Thursday. Um, next Thursday, I will be going to be on at 8 o'clock for um 7, 8 o'clock next week for early, being able to do things through that. Through that process. Um, and so that's basically, next week might even be 7:15. Might even be 7 o'clock next week that I go on early. Um, but Thursday for a little while. So don't always like this is only because I go on a little bit earlier. Um, because my mom has class off. Is it update week this week or is it next week that it's for it? Because if it's this week for COD, then I still won't be. I'll still be live Thursday night, Wednesday and Thursday night, of course, but I won't be live um for it. But I'm gonna tell you, Glass. I'm not gonna. We got update for Fortnite on as well on Thursday. So for this Thursday. Whoops. I just I'm not a perfect driver. I wouldn't be able to drive in real life, to be honest. But one of the things that is an update for this week for Fortnite is there are new sprites coming in. 5 new sprites coming into Fortnite this week on Thursday. So we will probably, instead of festival on Thursday like I normally do, no, Glass, you don't seem to understand. It's Thursday. There's an update for Fortnite on Thursday for Battle Royale. Just because COD has an update this week, so does Fortnite. And they're on Thursday for new sprites. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong and it might be Friday for Fortnite. It's new sprites, but I just heard about it on uh from Fortnite. So I'm thinking it's Thursday or Friday. I don't remember exactly when the sprites are showing up. But if that's the case, and the new sprites show up, I am basically gonna say we're just gonna play Fortnite on Thursday, and we're gonna do Battle Royale instead of Festival. For what it's worth, and um, on Wednesday I'm gonna drop Rock Band 4 this Wednesday, um, for it, and I'm gonna put Festival in for that day, um, this week. Just this week because of the update for Fortnite and Battle Royale and stuff. But to be honest, that's not too terrible. But I am gonna tell you, um, the one other thing I'm gonna say about the Steam Machine is I actually am kind of interested in it though. Just to be clear, um, I already have a decent computer. I already have a laptop that I can use for streaming. But I would probably still might end up picking up this Steam Machine anyway if I had a job. Right now, I'd probably save up and pick it up immediately because, to be honest, I'm always looking at trying to see what Valve's Steam Machine is and see how it works and runs and things and goes through all of this process. It's I would say it would probably um if it wasn't because of tariffs and things, I would probably say that the Steam Machine probably would have been 2 terabyte would have probably been $200 to $300 cheaper than what it is now, and the regular one would have probably also followed that exact same suit. Um, because the personally, if we go to the Steam Machines page for it, right now it's $1,000 for it with a controller. I am pretty sure with the controller, I'm pretty sure we'd probably see about $300, $200 to $300 off on This would probably be with the controller would probably be $1,000. This price for the controller, maybe a little bit, and this would probably be about this price. Um, they would probably both be about um this price without the controller, and I would have been okay with it. Um, but if it was a little bit cheaper than what the traditional price is for the Steam machine, but but it's I would probably say like go look up Steam machine, go look up Linus, go look up not only looking up Linus but go look up Gamer's Nexus video. Like it is not a bad system, but I would say that if you're looking for something, I would look at a $1,500 computer and see what you can get out of it. Try to go look through PC Part Picker. Go and try to build a $1,500 computer. You might get a better result. You might have a bigger case and a bigger thing. But I would recommend that you go and look at using that setup for it and see what you can get for a complimentary PC. See what you can build. See what you can get. And if you are looking at this and you can only um and if you can only get this computer for it on the setup where you go and you look at I'm gonna check a thing though real quick um for graphics because I'm wondering if we're already on the ultra settings, but I wanted to know if we could switch shader cache in the game. That's system driver, don't care. Um, yeah, the only thing it would be right here under graphics. But I just wanted to see, yeah. I'm hopeful that they're switching over from OpenGL slowly. I think they're gonna start getting over to working on Vulkan shaders and slowly shifting the from OpenGL to Vulkan. And I think Vulkan's gonna be a lot better for a lot of gaming. And if you are running a Steam machine, I would highly recommend that if you have a current computer right now, that you um, go and uninstall your Windows operating system and back up your Windows system, back it up, and then install Bazite or install a Linux distribution like Bazite to try it out before you make that jump, before you make sure that you really want to do that. If you are a anti-cheat person, I would not recommend switching over to Linux because I'm going to tell you I would rather you spend your time going through and actually having two systems around, having a PlayStation around for games like Call of Duty and Fortnite, having a and then having a PC with Linux. is a great idea. I will tell you, do not go out and buy or subscribe to Nvidia. Um, don't do it because Nvidia is just um. What, you can't decide where you're going, truck? um, okay. What I need to do is, yeah, because there was no way I could rest down in this town, down in here. Um, that's 49 minutes. Um, 49 minutes. How long? Yeah, we're gonna have. So no, because we'd go. Yeah, so we'll put a bookmark there. Um, we're gonna have to deal with, some extra things within the Euro truck and probably American truck. We're gonna have new resting mechanics coming in 1.6. So it's gonna be an interesting way of playing our game. Um, we're gonna have some new radio. You know, we have the radio stream now. Um, 'Cause I forgot to put on the radio, but we're gonna have a new radio setup. So I'm liking that we're gonna have that. I think that the radio stream, I think is gonna be something that you won't probably see on a console though. I don't think you will be able to get streaming. But I will tell you, like, um, for things of what's coming down the pipeline for that, it's 1.6 is a minor update for Euro Truck, but it's going to be a major update for American Truck because Illinois is coming in on 1.6. So we're going to be able right now, um, I'm pretty sure Illinois is probably going to be the most recent available. But the next one I'm pretty sure is probably going to be South Dakota. Um, and once South Dakota's probably done, we'll probably have like Indiana's gonna be on the chopping block, and then British Columbia, and then probably Indiana. Will be on that way. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna go from those three states, the two states and the District of Columbia, um, will be up in the coming days. So you'll be able to once Pro Mods, that's the one that I'm gonna have a whole heck of a hard time playing is when District Columbia comes out. I'm not being able to use Pro Mods, not being able to have access to British Columbia when I really need to. um, when that comes down the pipeline. But that shouldn't be too terrible because I'm pretty sure we're gonna probably see British Columbia probably at the end of the year, maybe at the beginning of next year. Um, so it'll be. But there is this thing that as we kind of understand of what's going on and with gaming, one of the things that is not on the topic, it's still there, but it's not a top major topic, is that the I think the video games aren't going anywhere, but they are going to be a bubble coming soon. And I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not a big huge live service fan. Okay, I don't I don't like a lot of live service stuff. Um, I don't actively go out and play a lot of live service games. Call of Duty and Fortnite are the only, and Euro Truck and American Truck are the only live service games I absolutely play. Because, to be honest, um, you know, playing Euro Truck or playing American Truck, um, is going to be a lot safer. Is a lot better for me to play this game than it is for me to play um, any game for that reason. For me to just say that, I'm not against live service. I'm just saying live service has to be done right, and it has to be done in a way that's going to be able to keep me coming back on a daily basis, and keeping me coming back on a day-to-day um, thing that's going to keep me engaged and wanting to come back. And to be honest, Euro Truck and American Truck are the only ones on this list. Like I said, if you go look at my top 5, Final Fantasy is probably number 5. American Truck and Euro Truck Simulator 2 are up there at number probably higher than that, because they're the only titles out there that actually I love. I love them to more than probably any service out there. I will tell you, like, I'm a big fan of Euro Truck a little more than I'm a fan of American Truck. And the reason why I'm saying I'm more of a fan of that than I am a fan of American Truck is just because of the importance of understanding that the system setup of these of the game series and the game franchises and things, um, not a lot of these game companies um, do make that decision. That a lot of, like, games like Capcom and games like Japanese companies do tend to do a little bit better than, say, American companies do, but that's only because they kind of know their audience a little bit. Sony's kind of, if you really think about it, Capcom knows what they're doing more than anything. If a Yeah, I'm going to try to speed right around you, buddy. Well, they know what they're doing and they know their stuff and kind of things like, to be honest, like there's a couple of companies out there that actually do pretty well for me, that are relatively great companies that I absolutely stand by and will not falter for the company itself. I will tell you, there's three companies out there that I really will actively, truly will buy games from. Is is Square Enix, SCS Software, okay, are the two major companies that I will spend most of my time, that I will actively spend on buying games for it. The only other title that would probably sit here, the only other company that'd probably be highly up here, um, that it would probably actively spend a lot more on, is the absolutely uh, that I absolutely will spend my money on and spend it on to the high heaven. Um, that I will spend probably a lot of things in relation to gaming companies, is um is Valve. Okay, those are the three game companies that I will stand by, and I will most likely purchase a lot of their games and play a lot of their games for it. I'm not against other game companies. I'm just more of saying that I will definitely buy games from these companies, because these companies are keeping us and knowing what they're doing. You know, to be honest, a lot of people who come in and play a video game, um, a lot of these people don't quite seem to quite understand the importance of video games. Um, and understanding that not everybody is out there for the live service. I don't go out there and play Fortnite just to play Fortnite. I like Fortnite because of the battle royale. I like Fortnite because it's a great, it's the best battle royale out there, no matter what anybody says. Okay, Warzone is absolutely not the best battle royale anymore. I have come back and played battle royales. I've played a lot of them. Fortnite's still absolutely the best. Warzone, second. Off the grid, third. And even then, off the grid is not that great either. Um, so if you're really thinking about genres, like genre defining stuff, um, I'm not a big fan of shooters. Okay, I'm not a big fan of shooters in the sense of everything has to be built around shooters. I will still play Call of Duty. I'll still play those things because they're great games. Okay, um, but I am not a big fan of shooters like everybody thinks I am. I'm not gonna go out there and play every shooter out there that's there. I'm not gonna sit out there and do that, because there's there's a lot of these things that these companies that do shooters, there's too many. People tend to go and gravitate towards a lot of hero shooters. Absolutely, absolutely not my favorite. Not my cup of tea. It's one of those types of genres I do not like playing. Um, you know, Um, the the types of genres I like to play are casual driving games, puzzles, um, platformers, depending on the platformer, but mostly platformers, um, kind of types of games, rhythm games. You know, those are the games I like to play primarily. I like Fortnite and I like Call of Duty, and but they're shooters, but that's okay. It's not like I'm majority prefer a lot of racing titles and prefer a lot of simulation games like The Sims and this. Now, of course, I will tell you I have The Sims 4, but I will not play that ever on stream because of the nature of the way that I have modded the game. That would not be appropriate for stream. Um, and so that's the only we're finally seeing the flickering again. Haven't seen it for a while. Um, and things like that. But I will tell you, look, there's a couple of things that really, um, outside of gaming that just really is not a great thing. Like, are you, most of you probably have seen the UK stuff going on. You've seen the UK Keir Starmer. You've probably seen it. You've probably heard about it. Um, I didn't hear about it until just recently through Aaron in the Morning. Like, I spend a lot of my time paying attention to, um, um, to the other things, um, but one of the things that, hopefully, that, you know, the Democrats feel like why they Kirsten, like, to be honest, they've gone through, over the last 7 years, they've gone through 6 prime ministers, but but one of the things that I think is probably a good thing is, like, first off, there's 3 things that are pretty bad about the UK that I don't like about it, and a couple of them, and 3 of them are pretty much basically, these are things that I don't want to see here in the United States either, to begin with. Um, I don't want to see the United States banning social media for kids under 16. I understand why, but at the same time, I don't think we need to ban social media for kids under 16. What we need to do is we need to, instead of banning kids at having that age of 16, letting the adults take control, take care of these decisions. And one of the things that the UK has basically was part of this thing that Keir Starmer basically was able to wanting to get done was that basically making sure that kids under the age of 16 can't access it. How are you gonna police that? Kids can lie about these things. Kids know how to get around these things. Kids can go and create an account. All they have to use is go find a VPN to get around these blocks, and they'll find it. Like, I can tell you that if you want to get around a certain block in, I live in a state that doesn't block this content, that doesn't block the adult content, but but my internet goes through a state that does, and it's like I shouldn't have to be blocked by it the because of the um they shouldn't be blocking it because kids have access to the adult content. What they really need to do is start thinking about, instead of blocking content, instead of blocking the content, um, start actually taking into making sure that parents have the opportunity, instead of banning kids and having these things, start actually educating parents when they are having children, that they go through this class that allows for kids to allowing for them to understand what they can do to block their kids from this content. That way, if those kids have that access, they can find ways to not be able to have access because of a VPN, because of these things. Instead of putting us and banning it and requiring IDs and requiring these things to surveil us, to get to not be able to say what we should be allowed to say on the internet, because heaven forbid that we don't allow for freedom of speech. Okay, heaven forbid that you talk ill, like I guarantee you, like, heaven forbid that you talk ill about Donald Trump and he decides to go after you for it, because he's doing that with David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen and those that are on these social media platforms, and one I think was another content creator too, that they don't like. And I'm like, this is starting to become a ridiculous, that we have to enable that you are butthurt because you don't like what people are saying about you. Okay, yes, there are some times where, yes, you might get some things wrong, and you might get it, but if you're talking politics, if you're talking like defamation because your game is bad, and you made this game, you go after the content creators for telling your game is a bad game, that's not right. You shouldn't be going after, that's not defamation. That's pretty much basically giving a review of your product, giving a review of your game, giving a review on things. If you're a public figure, okay, and you are a political public figure, you shouldn't be going after people because you dislike what they have to say. You know, because you don't dislike that you dislike their way of policies and say that you're doing things, and you don't want to do it because you believe that they're lying to you, then, and it's saying that's all lies and it's all this, but they're telling you the truth and the facts, which is what Midas Touch is doing, which is what David Pakman, which is what Brian Tyler Cohen, which is Fair and Balanced, and which is not only Brian Tyler Cohen, but you know, Jesse Dollamore and Brittany Page. To be honest, like, I don't watch a lot of Brittany Page, but that doesn't mean I don't watch. I don't watch a lot of Brittany Page, but I do watch a lot of those content creators. To be honest, and to be honest, you going after somebody that goes after you because you dislike them and they're in another country, you decide to go after them. You really are not helping. You're not really defending freedom of speech. Yes, when they go out and say, okay, some things that I will say is, like, if you're going out and you decide to call the cops on somebody, and you call them and then you have a swatting incident because of that thing that goes on, that's a different story. That's a difference. When you start deciding to yell fire within a theater and there is no fire, that's a problem. when you start saying that it's going to harm people's life, and saying that there's a even if a bomb decides to, you say that there's a bomb, it's like, well, depending on, like, if you're in a movie theater and you stay at, it's like you're gonna have some problems. It's it's one of those things that if it's doing to the intent to harm somebody, just because you dislike what they have to say about you does not constitute harming you. Okay, if they decide that they said, well, now you need to go after them, then that's a different story, and you need to dox them and take them down and do all that. That's different. That shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be doing that. Don't go after and dox these people. Like, if you have done bad things and horrible things to somebody, okay, then that's a different story. When, you know, when you're going out and harming somebody else and they find you because, they, then that's a different story. It's a fine line with free speech on a lot of things, but a lot of it should not be that way. But to be honest, if you believe in the freedom of religion, at the same time, freedom of religion, you should be allowed to have the freedom to do that. That's here in the United States. Being able to being able to have the freedom to be able to speak your mind. I mean, not speak. Be able to have the right to have your religion, and not going after somebody because they decided that they I don't want my child wearing a balaclava or following a different religion than what I want them to be following. That's like, if a teenager at 15 years old wants to do that, let them. But if you don't want that happening, then don't start pushing your religion into schools. Don't push religion and pushing scriptures and requiring these things. It's the whole antithesis of why I do not agree with, first off, with Texas trying to push passages that we have to read in school, certain passages that have to be set up and being told that we have to follow those things, saying that we have to follow this written passage the way that it's written for what it's intended, when in reality there's many different ways of interpreting a passage, many different Bibles. There's 150 plus Bibles out there, okay? At least. Okay? And not only 150 different Bibles. Okay? There's also, and then there's also different ways of following life. Like, if you want, I know I'm supposed to be over in that lane, but I need to have enough to be able to rotate out. Because I'm a truck. If it wasn't, for it, there's a couple other things that I would also probably say too, that needs to be said and needs to be changed. We need to stop for three things. We need to stop. Okay? We need to stop pushing things to block books, ban books. I don't care. If a book is to be banned in an elementary school, that's a little bit different than a book being banned in high school. Okay, a high school, and it should not be banned in a public library. You shouldn't be banning books in a public library. It's a public library. Everybody's supposed to have equal opportunity to go there. Okay, that's everybody should be able to read a book. A book should not be put on the adult shelf because a book talks about certain LGBTQ content that's not um that's not included in the that is not included with the LGBTQ content within the being sexually in nature. There are times where you can talk about having two dads in a freaking book, and there's no sexuality involved. When you have, but they want to ban those books. They want to ban certain books because it shouldn't be read at a high school level that has violence and gore in it. When I'm like, that has some of those things, like, okay, it's a high school grade reading level. That's a high school that should be able to allow to read a book. Book is art. People are going to interpret these books and interpret them different ways, and we shouldn't be banning it. We shouldn't be forcing content on. We shouldn't be forcing to requirement of video games to have an easy mode just to have an easy mode. Okay? Now, of course, I will tell you, going in and playing some games that do have easy mode. City Skylines is the only one that I play on easy. But they have an easy and they have a hard mode. Okay? They don't, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with games having a difficulty level. Like, I don't mind if you have a normal game where you go and play a game that has a normal setting, but then you beat that game, and then you give you another upgraded challenge. It's a different story with that, because that's what they intended. We shouldn't be forcing these companies to have easy or have medium or having the hard difficulty setup. I in a lot of the games that I've made myself, I basically have rarely ever used a difficulty setting in the game. Within a game, I've only done it with one game, and that's it. I haven't done it with any other games. I've done it actually with two games. But the one game, I actually did it because of in the way that I had it set up. And you guys can go play this. I don't care. It was just a tech demo of sorts. But basically, based on what you had selected, allowed you to decide whether or not what side you picked. You decided you go cave, you go tower, or you go this way. It depends on the difficulty, and you can go and play it right now. It's through itch.io. I under gaming Maddie Rocks, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can go check that out. I have another game that's broken up there, but that doesn't. But it's like I've only ever done it with two games. Okay, I only did it intentionally with that one because I basically said, hey, this is a game where you can play on the easy difficulty to learn the ropes. To learn to understand how the game works. But then I decided that, okay, I'm going to make it second one makes it a little bit more challenging because of the way that I had it set up, and then the third one basically was like easy, medium, hard, or basically for it. And then the current and that one, I believe it deals with ghosts and that, so you guys can look that one up. And I'm also haven't been working on the other one. the other one. But the other one that I have that I'm working on is not relatively easy or hard. It's more or less it has two difficulties, but they're going to still be the same no matter what you do. All it is just a slight change in a item that you receive at the start of the game that'll change the way you play the game. And the story's still going to be the same, everything's going to still be the same except for one item makes it difficult. But that's it. And I had some backlash on it for the title screen, to be honest, where somebody basically said, "Yeah, no, it starts out utilizing default assets in RPG Maker. Like I'll tell you this, that I do use default assets, but it slowly changes and slowly shifts over time to replicate a thing that basically is right there, and it's in, and I'm going to tell you that it is related to AI in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be relation with that. So, in relation with AI, I'm not going to say any more than that. I had the title. I think I might still keep the title, and just say, that the title screen was done with AI for a good reason, because it's supposed to highlight highlight the game. Okay, this is supposed to be like something. The game is set in like 2100 or something. 2100, like year, like not like set in current time, but like if it was set 100 years from now, like almost over 100 years from now, that this game is set in. So it would be like for where it still utilizes like modern, like it's not like for like, and the whole point of it is where the game is set 100 years in advance, because it uses AI and utilizes in that regard for it. You have basically the premise, and I don't care if I give the start away. It is literally, you're at a school where you are to learn, where you are learning, and you are learning from a teacher that is built around AI. Okay, and your teacher is an AI computer that is there to teach you, and there to only teach you, and they, from that point, it's an AI companion, you know? And that's all it is. It's not anywhere in any shape or form the thing that I've made it prioritize AI. I haven't used AI to prioritize the game in any way, shape, or form. For it. I haven't changed the AI, haven't done the AI in any way, shape, or form, used AI in this game other than for that title screen. And I was going to do it because it was supposedly, it's going to be in relation to the game, I will tell you, is in relation to weed. Okay? That is the only thing that I'm going to tell you that is going to be in relation to what's going on. For it. And that's it. That's basically, I'm not going to tell you any more than that, because I'm thinking about, I'm just going to leave the title screen for AI for a good reason. And I'll put it generated. I will put a thing, title screen generated with AI. I'll put a thing at the bottom, somewhere on the image, like generated with AI, just to basically say, You know, so people don't get confused that title screen generated by AI. Um, I'll put it at the end credits or something. I'll do something along those lines, but it's not done fully with AI. It's just done with one image that I needed to be able to kind of say that this is done with AI for a reason. And it has the AI for it. It's not done with AI, I'll admit that. It is being used with RPG Maker assets through DLC.
イベント録画が行われました。
Are you really? What? There, but I don't use AI to use it on a daily basis. It was the only thing. And I was trying and I'm trying to use one portion of the game where it's supposedly where it's going to have a small portion of it's going to be AI generated in a small portion. And the whole reason is because this is supposed to be like a this is supposed to be like it's an AI generated game that it plays on itself. You are basically there to study and learn through AI, but the AI is like crappy. It's supposed to not be great. It's supposed to be like this horrible thing that it's still 100 years from now, AI is crappy. AI still can't get things right. And that's the whole point of the game is that it's supposed to be crappy. It's not supposed to be great. It's not supposed to be this fabulous thing. And I just can't, and for whatever reason I just can't get the fencing to seem to get right for the fencing. Like I wanted to create like a background with a battle fence and with a chain link fence that would basically highlight it, but I can't seem to get it right. I can't seem to get the AI to create like what I want it to create for it. So I haven't gone back to the game. I've decided that I've just scrapped it right now and haven't worked on it because it's like there's nothing for me to do. But I will tell you this, that if you guys are wanting to know a couple things, there will be no. I have a thread up package coming at some point. It was a $10 thing, $10 credit that I could have used, a $10 credit that I could have used yesterday that I didn't realize that pot came in again. That I can't use it now because unfortunately, going to the 27th, I can't use it because there's nothing I can. I'd have to pay shipping, and shipping isn't free this time. For it. But if you do happen to have like, if you happen to use setup and you have like a $10 credit, use it. Okay, go out and use it for like a thing that you want, and basically pay for have them pay for the shipping on it, pretty much. Like if you go out and you find like a $10 item on setup that you want, and it's $10, basically what you're gonna pay is for shipping. And I would recommend that you find ways to get deals, find ways to maximize your efforts of not having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on things. You don't need to go out and spend, like I said, you don't need to go out and spend thousands of dollars on clothes and things, and you don't. But you can always find ways to save money and find ways to do things in regard to a lot of things like that. But to be honest, one of the things that I really will tell you that's horrible um, that is a horrible waste of time and waste of money was that reflecting pool. Um, and to be honest, that's more of a waste of money to try to fix it, and became a bigger problem because you don't know how to fix it, you don't know how to do things, you know. Um, and to fix that reflecting pool, and now, like, you know, there was a guy got arrested at the reflecting pool for wanting to come in and touch the reflecting pool. A bicyclist, a foreign bicyclist, basically got arrested for wanting to come and touch that reflecting pool. And I'm like, just to come to see what see what this whole thing is all about. And I'm like, and I'm like, and now we have a gross use of time for these National Guard. National Guard should not be used for this. They called the National Guard now um to utilize the uh for them to basically protect the reflecting pool from people from coming to it. And like Trump says, oh, he's gonna fix it. He's gonna fix it. Like, bullshit. You tried to fix it before. You're not fixing it. You're not going to fix it. People have I've seen a couple of things online through threads and whatever, where, oh well, let's just fix the reflecting pool with Gatorade. Like, no, you Trump did not fix. All they did was just change the paint, and it made it worse. You need to replace those pipes. Pipes. He needs to figure out how he's gonna do it. But it's ridiculous that 5 more people got arrested on top of this for what they were supposed for what? Going to see the reflecting pool because they're deciding to take paint off the thing that's already in the water that is there. And it's like, really? So basically, you're gonna criminalize for somebody for taking paint that's already been chipping away in a public place that, you know, some of those people might not be, you know, it's not great to see what's going on. To be honest, like, anybody who decides to stand to vote for a Republican right now is not right. And you should be paying attention to the Democratic side too. Don't believe every Democrat either. Because some of these Democrats are not great people. They had one that they transplant a Democrat in one of these states. I don't remember. But there are, like, John Fetterman is not somebody I would vote for at all. So it's just like it's just ridiculous to see what this administration is doing. Like I don't care. Like you may think that you're voting for a Republican, but you got to realize that anybody that's currently in office, anybody that's there, pay attention to what these Republicans are saying, what they're doing. Um, don't just believe them. Look at their actions. If they already are a legislator in your state, and they have been a legislator there before, look at their voting record. Look at what they have done. Look at Ken Paxton to be an example of somebody who you should not vote for. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to stop because I had to wait for that car, so wait for that truck to go by. Um, we've got 41 minutes left. We'll have plenty of time for it. But it's one of those things that you gotta really pay attention to what is being done and what's um yeah, that so I'm gonna do one where I am gonna use where I'm still gonna use the GMC community, but I'm just gonna use ProMods directly. Where we know that ProMods is fully ready to go, all of it. So I am going to start using ProMods again. I'm going to start picking up ProMods for, like, they tend to do a lot quicker in getting to 1.6. So we'll still have Japan. We'll still do Japan. We'll still have that as a primary place of doing things here. But we're going to utilize. I'm trying to get shifted over to 1.6 this week. We're going back to Europe. We're going to take out of Japan. For I don't want to be like somebody that goes in and beta tests things. I'm not a big beta tester. I might start picking things up where I do beta test, like where I one of the things that I had to really eye open when it came to beta testing stuff. Like, beta testing is something where when you go and you start beta testing for certain places and certain things, like, you want to like you want to go through internal testing. You want to go through and make sure that if you do find anything, you want to recreate that. Well, for me, I think being able to live stream on that, I think, would be helpful. Like, maybe we do have to have that, like, that'd be great. Like, it could have like one system for beta testing. And then another system for mods like this. The camera just goes right through it, like it's nothing. We're gonna get there. I'm not gonna sit and wait to get this one done. Cause yeah, we are. I'm at 117, 170, 177,800 yen to be exact. And to be honest, that probably is not really probably like 1,000 US dollars, like 5,000 US dollars or whatnot. Like, it's not a lot. But, it's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money to begin with. We're probably breaking probably, I need to look at, before we do, I need to look at the bank. Yeah. That's pretty much basically this right here. And that's not a lot. That's the biggest one. That's the one that I'm still trying to pay off on the bigger loan. Once I can pay them both off, then maybe we might be able to start getting up another vehicle at some point. But hopefully we can get to finishing.
イベント録画が行われました。
Dum dum de dum de dum de dum dum. Ugh. Alright, guys. Well, there's one thing I will tell you. Because I don't understand why they can't just have a full road. Like, when does the road... Guess it's probably, that sign probably means...
イベント録画が行われました。
Probably have maybe a better time driving in Europe than I do in Japan, but... You're freaking serious. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna save it here. It's gonna be under PJ22, 26. I'm gonna see what happens up here. Cause I got a new passage. There's some secrets in here that I haven't seen the whole entire secret passageways. But I'm going 10 miles under the regular speed limit. Because it's dirt. It's recommended to go 30 on dirt roads.
イベント録画が行われました。
Okay. just because I want to see where this goes. Um, and if it goes out a certain direction, then maybe we might use this to go out a different route. Yeah. So we'll follow this on a second path later. Okay, so just in order to finish this up, I'm going to go do a couple of things. Load back up. I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna go start some supper, and I'll be right back. Uh, okay. Because I'm almost to finishing this. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm glad I put those light things at the bottom down there, so that people can actually see on the sides and know that we're a semi truck. But we're starting to see parts of. And now I'm supposed to turn off the engine. But we did make we're now at 3.2 million. For it. Um Now I could easily go out and buy this, pay you off now, and then we'll be able to pay that off soon. I think I'm gonna try something. But before I do, let's save the game. Over that save. And then let me go to bank services. Because I feel like if I do this, I just wanted to see if we do, and then we repay you out, right? We'll be able to pay that. We end up with this much left over, so it's probably not a good idea. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for today, guys. I'm gonna go make some supper for this afternoon. I'm go make some supper. If you're watching over on Pacific time, it's not supper time yet for you, but if you're watching elsewhere in the world, it's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning UK time or whatever, and things like that. But I just wanted to. The thing is, I wanted to tell you that the one last thing I'm going to share with you guys about this Um, where the Keir Starmer has basically gone out. One of the things that I wanted to share is that he's gone out against the LGBTQ community, um, for the trans people specifically, and he's now leaving. So it's one of those things that that here in America we shouldn't backtrack and destroy trans people's lives because it's not gonna save your butt. It's not gonna save your hide. And we should be more focused on making sure that all the trans people have the right to live and be happy. At least, I'm not saying that it's right or for you, and it's right in that form for you and your religion. But we should be able to coexist and live happily together, and making sure that we're working together as a society than putting people down on things like that. But I'll tell you this: tomorrow, um, we are going to this week, um, today is Monday. Monday. Tomorrow, is going to be probably your truck. Um, tomorrow or Wednesday for that, and then on, cause Wednesday, um, cause I'm thinking I'm gonna switch Wednesday this week and for festival this week. Um, this week because on Thursday we got update and we got things going on for it. But I think if we go into, um, I don't go to, I don't like utilizing. Um, yeah, Thursday, um, Thursday I'm um, going to do, um, new sprites, um, new sprites are coming in on Thursday. Class doesn't want to believe me that it's Thursday. I'm like, no, Thursday afternoon. I'm going to do Fortnite. Thursday afternoon this week. That's why I might do your truck tomorrow. Um, and Wednesday, I'm going to do festival on Wednesday for that because of Thursday. We've got Fortnite. Fortnite's going to be twice this week. In the afternoon. But I normally would do Rock Band tomorrow, okay? But I'm going to do Festival tomorrow because we need updates and things to be done in regards to it. Um, for that. So Thursday is going to be Fortnite in the afternoon and Thursday night because because we have update for that. We're gonna stick with that. We're gonna stick with Fortnite Thursday, and we're just gonna do Call of Duty this week as well because I believe, um, So we've got that for us. So I am gonna get off. Hope you guys enjoyed. Um, make sure that you guys hit that follow here on Twitch. Make sure you guys hit that follow um, on YouTube as well. I mean, subscribe on YouTube. If you are followed on Twitch, you do get notified when I do go live twice a day. I go live in the afternoon for specifically single player content mostly. Sometimes I might throw in, like on Thursday, a Fortnite in the afternoon, but mostly try to do single player. Um, the afternoon and the evening, we do a lot of Fortnite and Call of Duty. That'll be changing soon. As soon as I'm done with the Fortnite Battle Pass, for this, when we do, I'm still gonna come in and we'll still play Fortnite. It's just gonna be maybe a couple days less when I get done with that. And when I get done with the Call of Duty Battle Pass, I'm going to still play Call of Duty. It's just gonna be 2 nights instead of 3 nights. I'm still gonna put Call of Duty normally for 3 nights, and it's gonna be pretty much basically Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is going to be whatever, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fortnite, Friday, Saturday, Call of Duty. Thinking about that. So, but that's just a suggestion right now. That way we can still play some other games. Not gonna play some older Call of Duty stuff, unless we decide we do it on it. But I'm not gonna play older Call of Duties because I don't want to sit and play Call of Duty all the time. I'm gonna play Grand Theft Auto soon. But anyway, I'll tell you this. We will catch you guys later. Make sure you guys are subscribed here on YouTube. When you hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys in the next one.